Who remembers the new normal? The bigger question, are you ready to go back to it? We're going to discuss that here next on Prepper Nation. Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you, yes, you folks, very much for being in the live chat this morning. Thank you to the replay crowd. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you for everything you folks do. It is truly appreciated. Quickly, we're going to have a live stream for the folks in the Coffee Club and Patreon at 10 o'clock this morning. I am probably already setting the lobby up as you're seeing this video. So if you want to join us, again, Coffee Club, Patreon, we're going to be reviewing a movie and we're going to be talking about our scenario of the week. However, we have to start with this, the return of the new normal. So our friend Alex, shall we say Mr. Jones, hopefully y'all know who I'm talking about here. They really don't like for you to mention his name or his channel. I'm just going to say. The algorithm looks for that, I think. But he posted a report 2 days ago, and he says, now take this with a grain of salt, okay? Because I get it. Some people are Alex fans, some people not so much. And I can see and respect both sides of that. But 2 days ago, again, he published a report over there and said he sat down with TSA whistleblowers and also whistleblowers from Border Patrol. And they told him practically the same thing. And he puts this in the timeline, which is interesting, but we'll get back into that in a minute. Excuse me. He is saying here in the United States of America, around mid-October, flights, domestic flights, international flights, are once again going to require the face diapers that many of us know and love, the face diapers, right? I'm being sarcastic with that one, folks. He's saying that in November here in the United States of America, mandates will be back. The 6 feet apart, the please show your paperwork, or at least tell people that you have paperwork somewhere, the walking on the right side of the aisle at Walmart, all of the crazy, ridiculous mandates are going to be returning here to the United States. This, again, according to Mr. Jones. And by the end of December, lockdowns in America will officially be here. Now, me personally, putting my own 2 cents in, I think if we see lockdowns, there's been a lot of talk about it and a lot of speculation about it. Again, this is the report that's over there that we're breaking down this morning. I think if we see lockdowns, it's going to vary state to state. And again, I would take this report with a grain of salt. However, and I'm going to link this down below for you folks, okay? Back on July 21st of this year, 2023, the White House launched. They put out a memo, and again, I'll link to that. They put out a memo announcing to the world that they had launched the Office of Pandemic Preparedness and Response. So I can remember vaguely at that time when they launched this thing and I saw it, I said, this is very odd for the Biden administration to be doing this because, first of all, pandemics typically only come around once a century, once every 100 years or so, give or take a few years. We had our Spanish flu. We had our C-19. Again, this is after the C-19 is declared no longer a pandemic. So this would lead me to believe one of two things. That they knew somehow that the C-19 was going to make a huge comeback, or that Joe Biden and his staff are insanely competent and forward-thinking, and that they're all over this and they're taking care of business. Now, I guess that could be the case, but given his body of work and his administration's body of work, and again, like we were talking about the other week, the fact that people were hanging off of airplanes leaving Afghanistan, they're not a very forward-thinking administration. So I can, again, remember when this came out, I said, man, this is odd. Why would they be setting it up so soon after the fact when they only come around every 100 years. And another disturbing thing about the memo, and again, I've linked that down below in the video description, is that NATO was specifically involved, or they were mentioned in that memo. Okay, so also take this with a grain of salt. Russian media, because I keep up with Russian media, Ukrainian media. I'm over here in Australia. I'm, the various mainstream medias here, Canada, British media, and the Russian mainstream media. As I'm digging around for war stories and trying to put the pieces together, they've broken a couple of stories that say practically the same thing. They've spoken to people within the TSA that were given advance memos of regulations and mandates that are forthcoming. And they are actually saying in Russian state media that this is going to be implemented. Again, same time frame as Mr. Jones is saying, mid-October, November, and sometime in December. But Russian media is taking this a step further, and they are speculating that this is supposed to lead to mail-in ballots next year, 2024. So it is something to think about. Again, both of these sources should be taken with heavy grains of salt, because Russian mainstream media is not exactly Johnny Honest over there. You know what I'm saying, son? And Mr. Jones has been known to miss as well. But I'll say this. Typically, when people like Mr. Jones miss, it's because they threw out some vague statement like there's going to be a world-changing earthquake, and I don't know when, but it's coming. Y'all better prepare. That kind of stuff, the fear porn. He's being very specific here. Now he doesn't pinpoint the exact day, but again, he's going based on, he says, memos that were leaked out by whistleblowers. So this is very specific in my opinion. Around middle October, masks for everyone that is flying. All right. November, mandates will return to much of the United States, and by December, much of the United States will once again be locked down. So it's kind of telling that he's earmarking. I think there's specific dates. I get it, right? By the end of December, but that's only a month for lockdowns to happen. And this is not something that Mr. Jones typically does unless he's seen some fantastic proof of that, because his reputation, again, y'all can think whatever you want to about the man, but it's important that he's believed, right? That he pins his hat on that. He has a platform over there because of this, the fact that people believe him. And so he's, this is him throwing his belief out there, if you will. Please believe this is going to happen. And here's what I'll say on it. Because again, I don't know if these things are coming back 100%. I haven't seen the TSA memo, but I'm inclined to believe that if we start to see masks coming back mid to end October on airplanes, well, that checks the first box. And then if we see talk or implementation of mandates in November, that checks the second box. And then if we begin to see lockdowns in December, you have to ask yourself, and he's saying this is going to be based around a Canadian variant. That will be enemy number one. It's going to originate in Canada. So if he's right about all of that stuff, and all of this stuff comes to fruition by the end of the year, we have a Canadian variant that's supposedly out of control. Now it's enemy number one. Now we have masks. Now we have mandates. Now we're locked down. There's no way. I mean, he's either a straight up fortune teller at that point, or we're being scammed. And this is proof positive. All right. So that's how I'm taking it. Watch the narrative in our mainstream media here in the United States moving forward. From now till October, keep an eye on the C-19 narrative. Are we going to start to see a lot more stories popping up? Is there going to be chatter starting to pop up about Canada? Man, we found this strain in Canada. Man, is it safe to fly? That sort of stuff. Because what mainstream media will do for the machine, as we're going to call it this morning, or the swamp, whatever, is they will lay groundwork. They have to lay groundwork or a cover story. Okay, so look for that. Yes, COVID is still a thing, folks. It amazes me. I will talk to people in chat and in comments and things, and I'll see it. They'll say, COVID's not real. It's not real. I've had it. It's real. Okay. I know people right now that have, mild strains of it. It is absolutely real. But I don't think it's real to the point. I don't think it's bad enough that we need to be locked down over it or that we need to show paperwork. I believe the flu is real. There are a lot of other illnesses that are real. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he's throwing Canada out there and he's saying that the TSA whistleblowers have said this is going to originate in Canada. That is the official cover story. I mean, that's pretty specific. You know what I mean? That's different than sitting here saying, yep, I reckon they'll lock us down sooner or later. It's coming. He's given you specific months, what is going to happen during these months, according to him, and where the origin supposedly is coming from this time. So prepare in the event that you would be confined to your property. That's what I would encourage you to do this morning. Now, I know many of you, I get it, you're going to refuse to. You're not being locked down. You're not dealing with it. But again, and I'm with you on that, just so you know. But again, you always want to prepare for a worst case scenario, okay? Should NATO get involved? I mean, it seems like they got their hands full right now, I'm just saying. But should they get involved? Or should the National Guard, be activated for this and really harsh? I'm looking at you, California. Y'all got Gavin Newsom, son. Really harsh restrictions be put into place, lockdowns and things, just in case you're in an area. And then y'all know where you live. If you have a highly conservative or highly progressive governor, if you're at risk of being locked down, right? And what that looks like, because again, we've been through it once already. Just prepare as though we're going to go through that period in time again, unfortunately. If this is a false alarm, I am in the future going to place less faith in stuff that comes out from our friend over there, Alex. But again, if this turns out to be the truth, man, not only are we being scammed, but we are watching them potentially and very openly steal another one. And so we cannot have compliance on this. I'm sorry, we can't. If I'm not trying to get on a rant, I know y'all got things to do this morning. But if we reach that point again here in the United States, if he's correct and people are being locked down and people are being threatened once again with their jobs, even if you jump through the first set of hoops, you finally said, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Please don't do it this time. That's not medical advice. I'm a YouTuber. Talk to your doctor, of course. But please understand, if this man is able to predict this event months in advance and give you the origin, that you're probably being scammed. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments, okay? Again, live stream coming up at 10 o'clock this morning. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all over there. Take care and God bless.